Let's get building.
Hello there! Wake up! It's Saturday morning. Welcome to JonnyBuildz. I'm your host, of course, Johnny. And we're going to do some sorting today, which is not the fun part of doing brick building of any kind. Typically, you want to build. That's the whole point, you know, of blocks. But sometimes sorting is a necessary evil, especially if, like, you get a big lot of, like, all kinds of random pieces and stuff, which I actually have some scattered around here right now from the town that I'm working on creating. And those kind of things are just necessary. You just have to do them sometimes in order to figure out what you have. Because typically the people that give them to you are just giving you a pile of Lego or a bin of Lego, and that's what you got. So you got to work with and try to figure out a way to divide and conquer and figure out what you actually have so that you can, you know, either build sets that you want to build, or if you're just, you know, you just want pieces, you still need to kind of sort them so you know what you have and what you can use to do stuff with. So we're going to work on sorting this guy. This is not my set, at least not yet. This is the Jawa Sandcrawler from 2005, and it's actually, I think, my favorite of the Sandcrawlers. The UCS one is a good bit, probably about twice as big as this, and I don't think it looks as good. Hey Brett, how you doing? Good to see you. Hope you're having a great Saturday. What did you have for breakfast? Just out of curiosity. I actually just had a cheese steak. But anyway, this one I think is the best of the three. I'm not counting the new one that just came out from The Mandalorian, because that's not, I mean, it is a Sandcrawler, but it's kind of like a, I don't know if you want to call it extended universe. The Mandalorian is part of Star Wars now, but I don't know. I think they just took, you know, this and like said, here, let's make gray panels instead of brown, and I think it's kind of silly. I still think this looks the best, and I think this one's the best because it has all this little extra in here. It's not just brown. They added in these little accent type things, the different colors and stuff, so it's not just brittle brown, which is good. We're going to work on sorting that, but I wanted to show some of the things that I've been working on that I've figured out from the lot that I've got. I love doing that. That has been my focus and will be my focus for the next 2 months as I work on the town that I am building, that's going to kind of incorporate 70s, even some 60s Lego, and some of the original stuff that, you know, Lego came from, all the way up through the 80s. And that'll include some things like, I do have one little M-Tron set, and I know exactly which set this is. It's very small. It's just a little vehicle. But the town is going to incorporate, kind of as the centerpiece, it's going to have the Yellow Castle, which I finished about a month and a half ago or something like that. But we're going to have castle elements, we're going to have space elements, and we're going to have town elements. And it'll be interesting to do some of the things, like, for instance, like some of the pieces that I have, like here's one of the bags. I have them kind of scattered around here. Here's one of the bags that has kind of like specialty pieces and stuff in there. And you can see some of the, where's the fake? So that's an older, this is before minifigs. This is like a buildable figure. And doing some of those things and trying to do something different with it, like do like a space set with that, because they didn't do space back then. They were mostly, what they called a lot of the things was town plan, or a, you know, some kind of a building plan, or, you know, stuff like that. So that's where the creativity is going to come in, and try to do some space things that are just like completely off the wall, and different. So, but one of the things I did was this little guy. This is an actual set. It is not quite right, because this set actually is supposed to have flexible shocks. It actually has, they're supposed to have springy shocks. They didn't come with it, but everything else did pretty much. But the flexible shocks was something unique that Lego tried to do. And I don't think it lasted very long, but it was kind of a neat thing. And this guy's cool because he has like his little truck on his shirt. And he's some kind of, fix-it guy. So we have him. He's kind of cool. This is an actual set that I've altered a bit because I don't have all the pieces. I don't have all the roof pieces. So, and the window is wrong. And this is an old school window, but I think it works well. But this is the motorcycle shop from the early 80s. I remember having this as a kid. This is not one of the real motorcycles. It's a Fabuland motorcycle, or moped, I guess. But it was in the same thing, and I was like, well, it works. People need mopeds, so the guy's there. And back here is like where you display a motorcycle. This is the little desk. I have a computer I gotta find. And then, whoops. And then these are supposed to be where like the helmets go. They're like on display. So, and I don't have the sticker for the sign that's supposed to go there, but that's okay. We can pretend. That's what Lego's all about, right? All right, so let's move that out of the way. This is part of the cargo center, or the delivery center, I guess is what it's called. And unfortunately, none of the stickers are on the sides of these. But this is the cargo plane that actually already has cargo in it. There's a forklift that I have this for, which is in good shape, which is pretty amazing for how old it is. And this is the little cargo base, I guess you could say, the little center. It's got a computer and, oops, and old school telephone, which is cool. One thing I don't have is there's supposed to be a sliding door that is in front here where the cargo is supposed to go. Well, it's supposed to be one big solid door, and I don't have that in this, but I have two yellow doors that I think will work perfectly fine. And that's, again, part of brick building is, hey, make it work. Figure out a way to make it work. So be doing that. That'll be interesting to figure out, though. Yeah, so this is, I keep knocking things over because it's not completely balanced. So I'm gonna shove these to the side. This isn't complete either, but this is something I'm sure Cliff would be all over. It's the helicopter. I gotta get the tail rotor. I have the rotor for it, but it's broken, so I have another one of those. But this thing is cool because it has like these things on the side. It's got these little tubes, and this actually opens up. There's one of these that's opposite. Hey, Logan, you're awake. That's good. It has one of these windshields that actually is flipped over, and it's built that way. So like the studs are on here and everything. I don't have that. I'll have to source that to get it. But like that's the way this helicopter works. It's pretty cool. So yeah, so these are old school 80s. I'm finishing up and customizing them a bit because if I don't have the parts, well, I'm just going to use what I have and make it work. So the cargo plane is probably one of my favorites. Again, I had this as a kid growing up, and you can tell it's old. You can see kind of just how the pieces look. But it's got the spinning. I only have one engine, so he's going to fly like this. So yeah. All right. So I noticed. Oops. I'm gonna put this over here. So today, like I said, most of what we're gonna do is sort, and actually, we're probably gonna start building, because I didn't realize something about this set. So the Sandcrawler is kind of interesting because it is still in that era, and I was mistaken. I thought it had individual bags. This is a 1,599 piece set. They didn't quite make to 1,600, but it has no individual bags in it. So this is going to be an interesting set to sort. I didn't even look in the instructions until this morning, so it'll be interesting to see. But we're going to go through and talk about some sorting techniques. And actually, I'm going to show you what my sorting technique is currently and what seems to work for me. Because there are some people that have like rows upon rows of, little shelves and things that you can pull out, find the piece you need, and they usually have them organized by color, blah, 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 blah. I don't have that right now. I don't have a space for that. So what I do right now is have clear plastic bins. And I started doing it by color, and I realized that was wrong. Simply because it was too difficult to sort things. So my method is kind of to categorize them and then sort by color. So for instance, like this is going to be anything that is a brick that is 4x1 to 2x1. And that includes something like this in between. This is still a 3x1, but it's a corner piece, so, okay. And that's it. That is all that will be in here. Now, the nice thing is, color doesn't really matter whenever you sort like this by piece type, because you can find the colors in amongst, you know, it's like, oh, look, there, the red corner piece. If you, and this is leftover, this is an angled piece, this goes somewhere else, this is leftover from when I first started sorting, but I'll figure that out later. Hey, look, nice purple. Just for you, Logan. Someone had said, or I saw somewhere that like they were talking about knolling, and the knolling is an interesting thing. It is sorting of a sort, but knolling is when you do this. You try to take all the pieces and lay them out and organize them in 90-degree, you know, rows and stuff like that. So all the different pieces get laid out like this. So it's not, knolling is not like sorting in the normal sense. Knolling is like very specific. Hey, Cliff, I was just mentioning you because I have this guy that I'm working on. You don't have all the pieces for it yet. But this guy, this helicopter here, is a cool fire helicopter that's very unique with, it's got one hose here. I don't have the second one that goes around here, but it's kind of a neat little thing. I was wondering if that was one that got away from you also. But this is knolling. This is whenever you actually specifically make it by 90-degree angles. Yeah, it's a neat thing, and it's within all this other stuff that I'm figuring out and sorting. And I don't know. I don't need it to be organized by that. Normally, especially with the bigger sets, I'm, you know, organizing by bag, because as you go through the instructions, you're building by bag. And so like these are bricks that are 2x1 to 2x4, or I mean 1x4. Sorry, 2x1 but to 1x4, in all the different colors. And then these ones are plates that are the same thing. These are 1x2 to 1x4 that are plates. So that's kind of how I organize, because I have bins. And I don't have a place where I can just have a big shelf to display, you know, to have them all, or, you know, blah, blah, blah. And some people do, so. Yeah, knolling is weird, and I know people do it. I've seen pictures of people doing knolling and stuff like that. But when we're talking about a set like this, so this is from the BAM store. They got this in a lot from somebody, and they wanted me to go through it, like I'm interested in purchasing this. And so I said, I'll go through it just to make sure all the pieces are there. If there aren't, you know, if the pieces aren't there, I'll do whatever. We'll get some of the pieces from their brick bins or whatever. But I was under the impression, because I didn't look at the instructions yet, that this is one of the sets that has individual bags, and it doesn't. This is old school. This is all like you just build it as you go. So there's no individual bags here. So I'm not going to be separating it like I normally would, but I still have to count the pieces. And even still with the old way of doing things, normally nowadays, even for small sets, you have in the back, you have the pages that say this is the pieces that you have or should have. For instance, this is the Darth Vader Big Fig. If you go to the very back, you have exactly what pieces you should have and the number of pieces you should have. So this is a good way to analyze and figure out when you're doing a set, like how you want to sort this. There's Darth Vader. And Bricklink is actually has a good inventory of sets, even older ones. Yeah, the giant cape is really nice. It actually is very nice. I have him down over here. I'll show him at the end. But I don't know what's in here. I do know we have this big piece, but I don't know what's in here yet as far as like the pieces. The guy that sent this in has it separated somehow. There are pieces, there are individual bags, like the treads are in here, but those have to be counted. We have to figure out, you know, what to do. So we're going to start with the minifigures, because I think that makes a lot of sense. We're going to see if we have all the minifigures, and if so, we can package them back in here. Yeah, if you're doing sets, absolutely should check out Bricklink. Oh wow. Oh wow. This is unexpected too. Those are the few stickers that are in this set, and they were not applied yet. That is cool. So these are the windscreens, I guess you could say, that are up here. For being a used set, this is amazing. I guess the Jawa capes are in here. Sounds like they are. Like, I don't know what happened with... I don't know the story from this. This is from yeah, this is very cool. I don't know what the story is behind this. It looks like some of the stuff was built. Like, this is R5. R2 was built. But, like... and some of the Jawas are kind of together. I don't know. I don't know what the story is, like, what this guy did with them. They've gotten stuff from him before. But I guess this last... lot that they bought from him, they had something like, I think like it was the Dark Falcon that he had in it, and they were like, oh well, the last time we got stuff from this guy, it was all good, like everything checked out. So they didn't even open it, and they're like, sold it to someone. The person came back and they're like, this is not even the right set. So like the set was completely wrong. So yeah, so got to be careful now, which is interesting. So we do have C-3PO, old school C-3PO. He's like the light colored. On the camera, he doesn't look as light as he is. He's like the very almost translucent. Like that's the faded color he is. He's not very gold or, you know, chrome. So we got that. Well, you do, but like it's weird whenever you have something like that where you're taking in stuff and you have a regular, so to speak, and one time it's like, hey, everything's good, and you would figure, hey, you know, you don't have to. Okay, so all the capes are in there. I'm not going to put those in because, again, this is not mine yet, but we will put the Jawas. Oh, I forgot. They do have the eyes. That's what I was saying. I was like, what? I do love these Jawas. I'm like, there we go. So we got one Jawa. And how's your day going today? Oh man, that's stiff on there. Sheesh. Alright, that's not coming off. I'm not taking that off. Two Jawas. You can tell these have not been used. There we go. Okay, 3 Jawas, as we should have. And they all have a gun. And it doesn't look like the guns are in here. They may be somewhere in here, so. So let's take the figures out of here. We should have... This is the funny thing, too. So we have Owen. This is... And actually, he doesn't have his cape. He does... Owen does, in the movie, have, like, a little cape thing. But this is Uncle Owen. Here's the funny thing. There is no Luke in this set. Like, and I guess they did that because, like, you get him in a lot of other stuff. But, like, there is no Luke in this set when this scene is... I mean, Luke is very much in it, so... Kind of interesting. Alright, so this is incorrect. So he was sort of built right. And I'm just going to build these little guys. Just to make sure... Just easier to keep... Something like this, like little droid figures, is easy to build. To see if you have things organized. Or you have the pieces that you need. So he's done. This guy's kind of funny because he just sits there. He went... he already ran off. Yep, okay. This is the best dude right here because it's printed. This is the Gonk droid. And I love the fact that they use one of these. This is like the best thing. Alright, so we got to use the light colored pieces. The Gonk droid's the best. Because he's so just I don't know, independent and just there, and there's just no rhyme or reason to him. He's just so simple. No one knows what he does. There he is. Funk droid. Alright, so that guy's done. This guy's an interesting droid too. And he's made with a combination of Technic pieces. That's a random part. Here's a random battle droid torso in here. A mailbox conch droid. But there's yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they are. See, this is the era of Lego that I like. Early 2000s with Star Wars, because they had to be very creative with the pieces they were using in order to make things work, because they didn't have a lot of specialized. They had some. They didn't have a lot of specialized pieces. We're gonna build these. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, so there is a bigger droid. This will be interesting. Everything is cattywampus here. There we go. Straightened it out. Where did that come in, by the way? The mailbox. Oh! Is that the? Is that from one of the advent calendar things? I might have one actually. I'll have to look, but I may have that mailbox funk droid. So we're doing some simple sorting here. It's not even really sorting. We're just making sure we have the parts for these minifigures. Okay, so here's R5. He looks goofy. I think they did him a little bit weird. But that's just me. This one's a mail. Oh, that you consider this a mailbox conch droid? I didn't realize that. Okay, I thought there was one that they did in the one of the advent calendars. So this is cool. So we got R2 here, but he also comes with this to go on his head. Because it has to have this on there. Because he gets picked up by the vacuum crane, whatever. So he has the little thing on his head. And then, so we got this guy over here. This guy just kind of like moves around, works on stuff. And then this guy, I was thinking this was a battle droid, but I didn't realize we had this robot in here either. See, I don't know this set. I've looked at the UCS one way more than I've looked at this. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. I understand what you mean now. I thought it was a specific one that was a mailbox that was a conch droid. So there we go. We got him. Did I forget? Oh, I did. So this guy wasn't made right. I thought he was. So this goes in there. Now he's made right. So all our droids are now sorted. They work. they're all together. So there we go. All right. So now comes the actual sorting part. So I can put all these guys back in. Keep them separate. Gotta keep them separated. And we can confirm, as far as I know, because I don't think this was even opened. They wrote on it, but it wasn't even opened, I don't think. The Jawa capes were not used. This is the rope. It either got put back in, or, you know. The guy was very meticulous as far as this stuff goes, so. I wonder how much one of these is. So how much is one of these conch droids? How much does he cost? I know it's the printing on there that's what makes it so expensive. And this is a cool example of like how once you start putting Lego together, it doesn't fit as well into the bag that he came in. But this is a cool find. This is like awesome. So I'm gonna put those aside. Those are good. And now we're going to get to sorting. And again, I thought we were going to go by bags, but we're not. Oh, so we got one giant bag. Oh, geez. Whoa. So he never even opened it. I don't think he ever built this or ever finished it, because this is still in its bag. This is like, unless he vacuum sealed a bag for it, this was never opened. This is a very interesting way that things have been done. Oh, we got, yeah. So all 4 of these are sealed. So we never built this part. That is awesome. Very awesome, but also going to be confusing too. So the interesting thing is we've got some smaller pieces. They're not all Technic pieces, so I'm not sure how I'm not sure how he separated these things. So this is where the fun begins. So again, we're dealing with roughly around, this will probably be about 1,400 pieces, or 1,300 pieces. So let's... kind of sometimes how you have to start is, there you go. Really? For the mailbox Gonk-Droid, that much money for just because he's printed and probably only came in this one set. That's insane. I find that nuts. It's just plastic. Here's the other thing too. Just because people can now do a lot of laser printing and stuff like that, it's kind of arbitrary. Like you can do the same thing Lego does as far as pieces go, like printing on pieces, and it doesn't even matter like whether you have the actual one or not. All right, so we're gonna move. We're not gonna null these because that would be insane with this many pieces, but we are going to move pieces out of the way. So I'm gonna take these plates, move them off to the side a bit. Nostalgia, yeah, very true, very true. Speaking of nostalgia, what's your opinion on the bridge, the next generation bridge? A lot of plates, a lot more than I expected. Okay, so we got the plates. And I'm doing this in such a way that, like, say, I know Bricklink exists. That's a very good thing. Makes sorting and everything like that easier, much easier. However, we're going to pretend Bricklink doesn't exist, and we have to go by what the instructions have. So typically that means going step by step, but you can save yourself some time first by getting certain pieces moved out of the way. Move all these gray Technic pieces over here. But yeah, it is. I think it's a good design, relatively speaking. I think it's a good design. There's some neat play features with it, which is cool. Like exploding the wall out and having the tribbles come out and everything. But it is too expensive. I'm not getting it unless, the only reason I would get it is if they had an exclusive GWP with it, and they have not announced that. So if they're not going to have a GWP, then I can wait. I can wait for a sale or whatever. I don't need it day one, that's for sure. Which will make my wife happy, I'm sure. So, okay, so I'm going to use these to kind of border the sides. Got more plates. There are a lot of plates in here. That's interesting. And specialty pieces, like these pieces. These are actual plates that are 6x4. Those you can kind of put off to the side and, you know, kind of figure out all these bigger pieces. These are all like longer bracing pieces that are going to bridge between different sections and stuff. So black, We got some brown. Now, of course, we have a lot of brown. But the nice thing, and again, the thing that I really like about this particular sandcrawler is it's not just brittle brown. It's got a lot of other stuff. So, I don't know. That's a, but there are people that will get them just to get them, obviously, and I'm sure some will be sold on Whatnot, and people will be like, ah. My wife has been doing that sort of thing with the plushies, like the sets that all have like the little tiny plushies in them. She's collecting the plushies, and somebody has been sourcing them for her, so she's been able to oh, they have all the tools and stuff are still in here too. So this is interesting. I'm not sure what I'm guessing this person pseudo bought the set, and then I mean, like, you would, I forget how much this originally went for, but it looks to me like they bought the set, took most of the pieces out of the bag. They may have built the sandcrawler itself without doing things like, you know, like the little weapons and tools and things. They're all still here in this. They may have done something along those lines. So, all right. So first things first, we're going to go through, and we've got these, should have one more of those. Really long 4x, oh, it's under here. So we've got our first step. We've got these long things that go on the side. We've got this long piece, it looks like, and then this long piece. We've got these. The way it goes together is you take this and this, this is the base, put these here, and then these go on the side here. So we have all these pieces that are part and parcel of the first thing. And I think what I'm going to do, since I have like a really big bag, I have this bag that these came in. I have the big bag that everything came in. So what I think I'm going to do, because I got other plates too and some other big pieces and stuff, I think in order to organize this a little bit better for when I build it, because again, I'm not going to build it right now simply because it's not mine. So I'm just trying to get the pieces figured out. So I'm going to put, I'm going to divide and conquer this, I think. I'm going to start these into the smaller bag. As far as, like, and kind of do it, maybe, like, divide it in half. So, like, you know, like, until this gets about, you know, 3/4 of the way full, and then I'll start doing the bigger one. And kind of separate this, and kind of divide it myself and have, like, okay, now we have 2 bags that we know for sure, you know, the things are sorted and so that's one way to do this. Another thing that I do sorting wise is I started doing is like, so this is an angled piece. Obviously, it's got an incline, as is this. This one's a reverse. This is an inverted incline. I actually sort all my pieces that are inclines like this, that have an angle to them, separately into its own bin. So some of them are specialized. You know, this one is a 3/4 incline. But even things that are like wing parts like this, that's a, you know, to me that's an angle piece. So I sort all of these together in the same bin. Very easy to find. Hello, wifey. How are you doing today? Good morning. What did you have for breakfast? All right, so we've done in here. We've done step 1. So let's. As you can see, I have some things separated. Now the nice thing is they do go through. Now this is interesting. So like, look at all the stuff we're adding to in step number 2. Like, we're adding all these pieces on here. Pet yogurt. All these pieces here are all part of step 2. So this is step 1, just the initial start of the plates. And then step 2 is we're adding 4, 10, 18 pieces. There are so many steps that are in minus Tirith that are like, here, put on 1 piece. Here, put on 1 piece. And for a UCS set, a UCS style, you know, set, it's insane. It's like, oh, it's so frustrating. It's like, that's not, you know, that's not what I bought. You know, it's supposed to be an 18 plus. You can give me more. All right, so we need 4 of these. Go in here for step 2. And again, this is an angled piece too. I sort this as like with my angled pieces. And color doesn't matter at that point, you know? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. These are 12, so I need 2 of these. These are going together like this. And then I need 4 of these smaller ones that go together like that. And that'll be good to actually separate into this one bag, simply because this will have a lot of the plates in it and stuff, and that'll kind of keep it away from the rest. Be less confusing. Okay. So, okay, we've got... I'm not tearing into that yet, it doesn't look like. We've got some... I've got 2 of these. These are 4x4. There we go. They look white in there, but I'm not seeing. They're probably buried in here. There's one. There's one more in here. Hey, you are. Good to see you. How are you? We're doing some sorting here of the Jawa, the original Jawa Sandcrawler. We did the figures already. I put them over here. The Jawas look really cool. They even have their little eyes. Something Bumblebee. I mean, that's on you, man. There we go. There's the other one. That goes into this bag. See, you don't forget, Logan. You don't forget. You just don't do either. I'm teasing. You are probably sourcing it from somewhere else anyway at this point. So you're off the hook, I guess. Okay, there's one of these. I need 3 more. Get that out of the way. Look at that face. That face of disappointment. 3. And I'm moving that out of the way. 1 more of these. And we'll be done with step number 2. And again, I'm not building this simply because it's not mine yet. But I said I would sort and figure out if all the pieces are here. And I love this. I don't have to try to figure these out. All 4 of these are in their bag. So the guy did something interesting with this set. I don't know how much he built it. I don't know the story of that in any way. Got a lot of those. One more. Come on. And again, going through the instructions, I think, is a little easier than doing like Bricklink. I mean, Bricklink, yeah, you're all looking just for the pieces. But I think, there we go. But I think when you do it through the instructions, I think it gives you a little bit better perspective, and it gives you a break from looking for the same thing over and over and over. Whoops. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. These are 10. All right, so I need 1 more of these. That's an 8. There we go. So 3 of those, and then 2 of the 8s. So that's perfect. So how's everyone doing this morning? It is Saturday morning. It is 9:40. What else do I need? Those other 2 yellow Technic. So this is neat. I did see how the treads go onto this thing. It's towards the back. And there is actually, and I didn't realize this either, there is a steering mechanism for those wheels. They're actually in the back. You like turn a knob and the wheels shift. so that like you can actually steer the sandcrawler. I did not know it had that, which is really cool and going to be useful for the future. All right, so 2 more of these plates. One of these, I think. I'm getting this figured out here. And one really long one. Does that make sense? Yes, that does make sense. Okay. The plates are always kind of, I think, the most interesting is because of how long they can get. So, all right. So that's that. We did those things. And again, we're just doing the basics, the base of everything. Oh, we're getting rid of these pieces, so these are going in. 2 more of these longer. 2 more 2 by 10 of these colors. Okay, good. And 2 of these. All right, good. Very, for being a 2005 set, these are. I can tell that these pieces are good. Very nice. All right, so now we're gonna get into none of those yet. So everything's still in here. Starting to get into some tiles. Oh, Logan, just wanted to let you know, as I've been building the, Minas Tirith, there are like so many 3386 in there. They're all white, pretty much, but there's so many of them in there. Okay, so here, their black does not look black. Sometimes it looks like a very dark gray. So I need 4 of these tiles. Well, that's a cool piece. That's like going to be for the crane. Put that aside. Then the thing is too, as you sort, you can kind of start like finding things, and you're like, ooh, there's a bunch of those. Like for instance, like these. These are not. That's not a common piece. Kind of set it aside and be like, now I know where I'm going to go whenever I need to grab those pieces. All right, so 1, 2, 3. I need 1 more 4 by 1. There we go. Got that. I need another one of these. That's like got the lines on it. Praise be. No, you're supposed to do that tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. That and a 1 by 4. 2 of them. That's black. And again, this sandcrawler is cool simply because it's got color. There's one of them. That's one of those. This is a goofy. It looks like a 1 by 4 whenever you're looking at it, but then it's got the little curve angle thing. So there's another one that's the opposite, so keep those off to the side. It's kind of how sorting works with something this large. And this isn't even, I mean, like this is 1,599 pieces. Did not make it to 1,600, which was kind of funny. And I'm sure they could have added like one more little thing to make it 1,600 exactly, but they did not. Okay. So again, this set, I was under the impression that this was one that was soon enough, or later enough, I guess you could say, that it had separate bags, and it does not. It is one set of instructions. I'm kind of creating my own separation with it, with the Like I'm gonna have like a first half and a second half, I guess you could say. So I'm only finding, and I'm still looking, but I'm only finding one 1x4. Now I can always add from my collection. That's not a big deal. But I'm trying my best just to see if we do have it. And move those aside. All these longer plate pieces kind of get in the way. And there's not many black pieces in here, so I would think that I could find it pretty easily. Ooh, those are cool pieces. I don't think it's been shoved anywhere. Move that aside. So the numbered bags happen later. Yeah, I thought they were in, maybe they're mid 2000s, but this is from 2005. And maybe it was just there it is. It was hiding underneath a plate. So there we go. I found it. That's those. So far, so good. Two 2x2s. I'm guessing this is brittle brown. Two 1x1s. And then two of these little barrels. Alright, there we go. Because even smaller sets nowadays have the numbered bags, which I think is silly. A lot of smaller sets do, anyway. Alright, so now we're going with these and 4 2x1. They're just 2x1 black pieces. 1, 2, 3, and one more. Nope, those are specialized pieces. I need to move those aside. These ones have like little armatures sticking out of them. I don't know what they're called, but they've got the little... Oh yeah. I mean that was my whole childhood, was numberless sets. But then again, the sets were not as big, nearly as big as they are now, in a lot of cases. So, specialty piece goes over there. All right, so I got those. Those are over there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. All right. So now I have to open this smaller bag here, because it has these vent pieces, and start adding some of those. So this is what I was talking about. This is the tool. This is what has all the tools on it that you take them out of here and stuff. And so the guy never opened that, which is again interesting. I'm not sure to what extent he actually built this set, because obviously these other bags are opened here. All right, 3 of these. This will be nice too, as we start getting rid of these brown pieces. It'll become much easier to sort. Things will become more exposed. One more 2x2. There's 3 of those, 4 of these. Actually kind of going to hold this out of the way. One thing I've really liked about building Minas Tirith also is they've kind of gone old school a bit, going back to using headlight pieces in a lot of the little micro scale buildings and stuff like that, which I think is really cool because it makes it look neat. And again, it's old. I mean, like this we had snot bricks in. For sure, but like back in the old days, to make snot bricks work, you had to use headlight pieces. So it's kind of neat having them go back and using those older techniques Okay, 4 of the 1x1s and 2 headlights. Alright. Alright, 2 of those. Not one of these, that's a snot brick. That's not what we're looking for. And then these aside. See a bunch of them. Need those 2. What's everyone working on today, or working on currently? Like any kind of sets going on? Set building? Obviously, I'm sorting this. Ooh, these will be fun to find. So I gotta find 4 of those 1x1s, but they have a little notch sticking out. Make a little clip notch like this. So I gotta find 4 of these. That's 1. So I only put things into a bag or whatever when I found however many I need for that step. There we go. I found all 4. So otherwise, that can get confusing. So at least in my mind, I think it can. Inverted. Those are both inverted. Sorting, yes. Not knolling. We're not doing the knolling. That is too insane. Oh, so Kristen, knolling is sorting of a sort. Knolling is whenever you put them all in a very OCD way. You keep them very straight. So they're all at 90-degree angles. So that's what knolling is. It's a specific way to sort, and I am not that crazy. There are people that do it, obviously. And a little bit of something on it. 2 of those. 2 2x2s. And then 10 of these inverted. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, that's all our pieces for that step. That was a lot of pieces. This is the way it should be done. Alright. Ooh, so now we're going to get into some Technic building. This is interesting. Okay. I'm not seeing right away. There's 2 white, unless they're not in there. I hope they're not in there, like in this bag. I definitely don't see them out here. There's 2, it looks like they're white. I mean, it's the same color as some of the other white pieces on the instructions. There's 2 white Technic pieces that are 1x6s. We don't have any gray ones. This is interesting. I definitely do not see them. And I mean, I'm going to open this bag just to see, but I don't think they would be in there. Oh no, they're definitely not in here. This is all, it's all plate. All brittle ground plate. Probably not going to be able to close this back up. Okay, so the question is, are they in here? No, I would have seen them. So we are actually missing, it looks like, unless they're in here. They're not in there. Let me look in the big bag. Nope, definitely not in there. So it looked like we're missing Look around on my pile. I don't see any white. I mean, like I have these couple pieces that are white that are sticking out, but I do not see. I do not see these two. So what it is? No, definitely not in there. Definitely not in there. Oh, hi, Typer Dude. I like the name. This is set 10144, I believe. This is the original Jawa Sandcrawler. And I'm sorting the pieces for my one local BAM store because they got it in a lot that they've gotten from a guy, you know, same guy before, but they found that this lot, all the pieces aren't necessarily there. So I am missing, it looks like already, so I am missing these two pieces right there. So, all right. I need to note that down. I do not see them anywhere. If I find them as I go, obviously I'm going to take that away, but I do not see them at all. And typically I don't, but I want to purchase this set, so I want to make sure everything's there. So, 2 1x6 white Techno. Okay. All right. So, I should actually, you know what? Let me be professional. I'm gonna open a notepad. There we go. Uh, 10144 Sandcrawler. Okay, 2 1 5 6 white Technic. All right, so there we go. So that's recorded. Do not have that piece that I can see. All right, let's move on. Once I figure out all the pieces that are here, because I'm looking to buy it from them. But they wanted me to make sure that like the pieces were all here. They weren't going to sell me something that didn't have, like, they hadn't confirmed it or anything. I said I can do that, you know, since I want it. So once I purchase it, which if I get this all sorted in the next day or so, and I can get it from them, then yeah, I'll definitely build it on one of my other streams. So. And that'll be coming up soon because Minus Tirith is almost done. I'm almost done building that. All right, so we got one of these. We got two of those. Put my bag in here. Oh, that's a good idea, actually. Yeah. That's a good idea. I did not write the page number, but I will write the page number. Page 12. No. Step 8. There we go. Step, I think, makes more sense. So, but no, that was a good idea. Thank you. And that's actually a good thing to point out as you're doing sorting. Marking stuff down as specific as you need. Some people, I'm sure, could do it with it, but like, I've noticed as I get older, it's harder for me to remember things. So I have to write things down. So. This is what I'm most excited about. I don't have to sort these. The fact that these are all here and they're sealed. Which again makes this set really, really interesting as to what was done with it after it was purchased. Because it's obviously not in Lego bags. It's in, you know, other plastic bags. But the treads were never taken out. So I'm not sure like whether it was started and then he was like, nah, I don't want to do this. Okay, we need 4 Technic pins. That's going to be in this little bag. I'm assuming. Oh yeah, way down there. Well, I need this anyway, so got that. I'll move over so you can see what I'm doing. Yeah. This bag, there's a lot of smaller pieces and things, so it's getting to them. They're all the way at the bottom, from what I can see. So I don't want to take them all out, especially not on the instructions, because I'm going to have to move it, obviously, but don't really have a choice as far as room goes. These are my favorite kind of Technic pieces, by the way. These little push pin things, they're so useful for being able to take different sections and put them together. So useful. Oh, there's another one. I need 4 of these. So. 2, and 4. Okay. So I got my 4 pins. I'm gonna have to see if there's anything else. I got my flat. I need a 2x1. There we go. And then 1 2x2. Ooh. Thanks, you are. Have a good day. May the Brickz be with you. Okay, I did those. I need 2 inclines and one vent piece. One vent for this instruction. All right. See if there's any others in this. No, it does not look like it, so I'm gonna have to put these back in the bag, which is fine. Keeping it organized. I'm gonna have to, as I clear out area, I'll be able to dump this out and be able to access it better. A lot of it depends on where in the instructions. Since a lot of this is just like initial building and structure and things, this is not going to be accessed all that often, yet. So. But as we get rid of these much larger pieces, stuff will clear up. And that's the other thing too. I think I like about this set is it's brick built. Like in the classic way, it's not panels like the UCS one is. The UCS one has a lot of framing to it, but yeah, I don't like the panel look. I don't think it looks as good. And that's the way they've done the Mandalorian one too. The new gray one, and yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's a cheap cop out in a sense. Because they did this one in just under 1,600 pieces. And, like, I think it looks fantastic. A little bit of variety here and there with the coloring and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. All right, so that one is done. Let's move on. So now we're adding some color, actually, not just brown. So we're doing some orange brown, I guess they are. So we got that. 1, 2. 4 Technic. 1, 2... 2 1x2s, 2 1x4. I'm doing all these at the same time because I'm going to have a whole bunch of those inverted 2x2s coming again. So. Oh, it's after 10 o'clock. We've already done an hour of sorting, but it'll get easier as we go. 12 of them. All right, so there's a lot of these inverted pieces. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good Lord. That's a lot of inverted pieces. That's that whole done there. All right. Moved. See, Bricklink gives you this opportunity, and I was saying this earlier, these older sets don't have it, but like whenever you finish a set, you can just be like, oh, what pieces do I need? Now, I still think it makes sense to go through the instructions, so it's like, okay, I know, especially if it's by bag, like this one is, bag number whatever. No, I folded the pieces, or the pages. But like this is like bag 9, and like this could easily be like this is half as many pieces as the Sandcrawler, and you could easily do this without bags. But since they separate it the way they do now, and in the back they have the piece count, like you could definitely do pieces that. Oh, ooh, so we're missing. So there's this really big. You might be able to see it. Let's see if I can. This big long white piece that is not here. I can definitely tell that. Definitely have not seen anything like that. So we got a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Makes sense. We're missing a 1, 1, 5, 16 white plate. Step 10. All right. We're definitely missing that. Ooh, that piece is in here. So this is part of the steering mechanism, so it's very important that we have this. But the steering mechanism is really cool. So they use this, and you have a axle that comes across, and then some gearing here that moves this, and the treads stick through 2 of these things in the bottom of the Sandcrawler, and they stick up, and then they have some swivels that allow it to go back and forth. So pretty cool. And in fact, we're going to do that now. So we got those 2. We've got 2 of these. 2 vents. And the question is, where are the swivels? I do not know where they will be. They're black. Are they going to be in here? Maybe. Oh, yep. It looks like they are. So. Ooh, no, what was that? Okay. Whew. So what they do is, I'm going to use a different piece just to illustrate. So the swivel is here. This piece is here. The axle comes across, and this is where the treads will come through. I don't have an axle to show, but like the treads will come up through here, essentially. And so when the tread is here, right here, it's coming through, and you shift this, the tread turns just a little bit. It's not going to do a lot. It's not going to be able to go very far, but it's a Sandcrawler. You don't want it to go very far. Yeah. So. But it's a definitely a neat design for it. Put that back and find my second swivel. They've done that technique with landwalkers in the past. Like I have the Blacktron Alienator, and he's designed that way, where like you have 2 sets of swivels here and 1 in the middle, so it can go like this and walk. You know. So. Where's my other swivel? I gotta do this again. So annoying. Oh, there it is, way at the bottom, of course. And in fact, we're gonna need, so I gotta see at the 12. Okay, we're gonna need this anyway, so I'm gonna take that out. Put these back. And at least I know where a lot of the smaller pieces are. They're in this bag. So. Everyone's having a great day, a good start to your Saturday morning. But we are missing, so far we're missing 3 pieces. 2 Technic and 1 long plate, which are very necessary actually for where they're at in this set. In fact, I know what's coming, so I'm gonna get out 2 more Technic pins actually, because I know I'm gonna need them. Later, so I don't have to dump out the bag again. Alright, smaller pin, where are you? And that's kind of part of sorting something like this as well, is anticipating. I'm gonna have to do it anyway. Like I said, I know I'm gonna need it, so I have these L-shaped things here, and the way they go in, you have two pins down here and 1 up top. So I already have sorted the 2 at the bottom, and so my last one that goes to the top, if I can find it. It's not going to be long before they're like, hey, you need this. There you are. Found it. There's another swivel. I'm not sure what that's for. Put both of those right there. Just for the time being. Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. You know, stop by on Tuesday. I'll be hopefully finishing minus Tirith. We're very close. We have about 10 bags left, and I'm gonna see how fast I can go through them. So that'll be Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern. So, but again, thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Hope you got to enjoy chilling a little bit before your day gets started. Wait a minute. You called me dude. You're the dude. You're diaper dude. So my question is, what does that mean? What does your name mean? Does that mean that you're really young and need a diaper, or really old and need a diaper? I'm just kidding. People have names for really bizarre reasons sometimes, as far as like usernames go and avatars and things like that. And it's, you know, it's obviously things that mean something for the most part to the user. So alright, so that. Alright, now we're getting some of these longer pieces out of here. 2 of those. Make sure that they're only that length. Okay. And that was it. It was all that and vents there. Yeah, good. Or has kids and changed a lot of diapers, or works at a diaper factory. That's actually, yeah. Actually, I want him to work at a diaper factory. I think that would be hilarious. Okay, so there's that, and this goes here. Or this is making the shaft for spinning everything. All right, so that goes. Then we've got 2 tiny. Oh, uh-oh. I should have looked ahead. 2 tiny white gears, and they are definitely white. I don't think they're in here. They're definitely not gray, because there is a tiny gray gear in here, but I don't think that's what it is. There's a lot of gearing in here. Well, this is probably for the treads, is my thinking. That's probably the tread for the most part. I do not think we're going to have those in here either. We seem to be missing a lot of, mostly the white parts, it looks like. So those really white? They don't look gray. They really don't. They look white, so. pushing through this, and I do not see them in here. Wonder what happened. Like, again, this is a really bizarre kind of set. So this is, what are we at? We're at step. So we got 2. What is it? Step 11. Like small Technic gears. All right. Again, it's really interesting. I don't remember ever seeing white ones that are like this, but it looks very specific to me that that's what they are. So all right, moving on. So we got 2 of those. I already did that. We're gonna start getting into some of these now. A little plate. Two of those. 2 1x6s and 2 2x2s. So this will be fun to sort and everything as much as I can, and then I gotta go help a friend move. So, well, I agree with you, except these are definitely not gray. Because I actually trust the older manuals more than the newer ones as far as that goes, because you can tell the difference between gray and white here. Those are definitely white. Those are definitely white. And probably very specific to this set, I bet you. Okay, and then 2 of those. 2 of these orange. I love these orange pieces that they put in here. So the idea with this, so taking a step back a little bit. Yeah, I trust the coloring on the older manuals than I do nowadays, sadly, because I think the quality of their manuals has gone. I mean, I've seen it in every single set that I've built so far this year. Every single manual has like a page that's completely the wrong colors and stuff. Like it's so messed up. But anyway, the idea of the Sandcrawler, for one thing, I don't have one. I never got one, and always wanted one, but eventually, so I'm working on, I mean, most of you guys know, I'm working on right now Endor, but I've kind of put that on the back burner as I'm working on my town display for the next series of shows and stuff like that. So Endor's on the back burner right now because I got to figure out the mechanics, the mechanical aspect of the logs and stuff. That is very taxing, so to speak. So I'm doing this so I have something for display purposes, and then eventually Endor, the Battle of Endor, will be done, and then naturally we're going to move on to Tatooine to kind of complement Hoth. So that's the idea for that. Oh, we're going to go back in here and get 2 more. So those 2. 1 more Technic. Oh, it's going to be in here. 1 little axle cover piece thing, end thing. 2 more of these. 4 of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Shove all those in a bag. Holy sunburn! I'm not sunburned, actually. This camera is a little bit brighter than the other one. So I am a tiny bit red, but not really. And it's mostly tan. So it's just... yeah. Good to see you, Jerry. Thanks for tuning in, as always. We're working on sorting... This set is not mine yet. I have not purchased it, but I'm sorting it because the store I'm going to buy it from, they couldn't, they were not able to say, hey, with certainty, like, hey, you know, all the pieces are here. So they wanted to make sure. So I said I would do it for them. So I wonder if it's in here. There's no solid pieces in there. Those are all tiny pieces. I'm looking for a little arch. the 1x4 with an arch to it so that the axle can go underneath it. I'm definitely not sunburned. I mean, I've been back from Florida for almost a week. I'm definitely not sunburned. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One of these longer slants. Is it a... Nope, it's a 3, so it's not quite that big. So what are you up to today, Jerry? You got anything going on? I know I saw your proudly displayed minifig on your Facebook page. It's cool we were able to get that for you. I might be missing that piece. There is... Yeah, we're missing some weird pieces. Oh, nope, there it is. It's hiding. I saw it. Okay, good. We are missing some weird pieces, though, definitely. But I know which ones, so as we go through, if I find them, then it's like, hey. All right. Studio. Jerry does all kind... There we go. Those are those two. I'm glad I set them aside. Jerry does some really awesome... pottery. She fires it. She does everything with it. Yep, absolutely. She does some really cool designs. One of those and another one. That goes in there. More orange, and then a whole bunch of headlights. Never forget to change your headlight fluid, by the way. And if you try to do that, then that's on you. All right, 8 of these. Move that aside. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, our first plate in a little while. It's going to be a 2x2 right there. And then the rest will be block. Okay, I need 2 more of these. Two more 2x2. That's right, turn signal fluid is just as important. Just as important. 3. Alright. Now again, this is a mostly flat type of build. Like, it's like all going to be like here, and so you're just building it up in sections. So it makes sense that they're doing a lot of pieces per step, but it is still kind of funny to see like some of the older sets doing better piece application than some of the newer ones. Kind of interesting. We have a few of the rare color parts from that set in the store. Okay. The nice thing is like I'll be able to, at least initially, like we'll look at the back at the BAM store, because he's like, any pieces that I don't have, you know, we'll go there first, because we'll just pull them out of their inventory or whatever. One of the other things too, so because there's a lot of parts, the other thing I do is I tend to go by row. So like they tell you what pieces you need at the, you know, for each step. So I'll go through this entire row and be like, okay, I got those, done, you know, and then I'll put them in the bag. That way I don't get confused and go back over things or whatever. So like there's 2x2s, 4x2, but they're sloped. They're not sloped. They're angled, but they're not called angled. They're called inclines. Inclines? Something like that. And then 2x2, not the same thing. But yeah, I'll see. Right now they're all. The funny thing is they're all white pieces right now that I'm missing. So it's kind of interesting. This is interesting too. What they started doing, they started putting the holes in there just for a little bit more of the change in clutch power, the way they were doing stuff. And I wonder actually if this is one reason why you have the brittle brown. I wonder if the chain, because if you look at the 1x2, it doesn't have that, but these ones do, and not all of them do. It's kind of interesting. Like, look at the 4x1. So I'm wondering if that's one reason why brittle brown is as brittle as it is. All right, so 2 of those. I need 4 2x1. Kind of interesting why they've made the choices they have, because I have old pieces that are just normal and they clutch just fine. Oh, well, this is weird. Same 2x1 piece. One has a hole in it, one does not. See that? Same set. I'm assuming these pieces are both from it. But one was manufactured with a hole, one was not. I don't get that. That's so weird. And 4 6x1. See, we're starting to, as we're building it up, we're starting to get to the lots of bricks being pulled out. One more sit there. And then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2 of these are 10. I have the bag that I'm putting everything in down over here to do it that way, so it stays out of the way, because it was a pain moving it back and forth. So. All right, so we need 2 of these. Here's the other one. We need a 2x4. There we go. And they're gonna be in here. One of those. Oy. Gonna be hard to find. I don't even know what that piece is called. Yeah, you know what? I should have enough pieces moved out of the way that I can just dump this. I mean, like, these can go there. That way I'm not having to move some of these out of the way. Otherwise, this is going to be a pain. So. Tiny pieces! They intermix a little bit, that's okay. But keep them mostly over here. And that is a black piece. I don't know if it would be in here. Nope, wrong size. All right. So this is an interesting piece. That comes over here. Maybe it's not in here. There's the piece I'm looking for is a black. I'm not even sure what to call the piece. So it's essentially like a tile piece, but oh, there it is. Yeah. I'm not sure what this one's called. I don't know. But then again, I don't know all the piece names and stuff like that. I don't care that much. I don't care about the proper usage of the piece. Oh, there's another one. I'm going to need that later, I'm sure. This is where it gets interesting. I believe... Is that dark gray instead of black? Yeah, it's dark gray. That's the hard part, dark gray. Now I got the tile pieces. So we got 1, 2 of those, and then 1, 2 of the... That's called a panel? Really? Huh, okay. I'll take your word for it. I don't know. I don't know what that would be. I can see why that would be called a panel, but still kind of weird. So one of the cool things about this particular version of the, and I don't know if the other sandcrawlers have it, but one cool thing about this particular version of the sandcrawler is, so this big black plate that I have back here, which I'm probably covering with the instructions, goes here. It goes all the way across here. And it's like the workshop for the Jawas, and you can actually pull it out and, you know, have it separate from the rest of the sandcrawler, and it's kind of a neat way to be able to you know, play with it, you know, if that's what you so choose to do. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right, that is too short. There's our 8. Another 8. There's our 10. All right, so there we go. So we're doing a panel. So we're going to be putting on. I mean, like, we're not going to be, obviously, but like in the instructions, we're putting on the first panel, or building the first panel. That kind of like is a standalone. And light gray. Now I'm calling that a panel. I don't know if that's a panel or not. 2, 4, 6, 8. There we go. Another one of those. Now 2 by 2. 1 by 2. Smaller incline. There we go. 2 3 by 1s. Another of these. All right. It really boggles my mind in a sense of which pieces we're missing, because if they're white, it's like those should be obvious, you know, obvious pieces. Okay, 2 by 1 that has the, there we go, that. See, these aren't profile bricks, but I'm not sure what they're called. These are the ones that have the lines on them, horizontal and then vertical. Profile bricks, or at least what I know profile bricks to be, are the ones that have like the brick facing on them on either side. But I'm not sure what these ones are called. Non-brick profile bricks, maybe. No, that would be dumb. Okay, 2 more 1 by 3. An orange. This isn't quite burnt orange, but it is an orange piece. Orange, and then another. And a black. White perch or mistakenly put in another. That's very possible. I mean, it depends on what, you know, again, I don't know the story of how the guy was doing whatever he was doing. So, yeah, your guess is as good as mine. It's definitely a black inverted, or... there we go. All right, 2 panels. Yeah, without knowing the story of how this one came to be, again, it's really, look at that. That's a 1 by 8, and it's got the holes in it. I think all the 1 by 8 seem to. But then the 1 by 10 does not. Why? What is that? Thanks, Jerry. Have a good one. maybe this is what caused brittle brown to be brittle. You know? Need a drink. Been talking for a while. 10:35. We are getting things cleared out pretty good. All right, so I need one of those. 2 of the corner pieces. Finally, one of these. Little arch. Half arch, I guess. Quarter arch. Well, no, it is a half arch. Because if you had an arch that went all the way around, that's a circle. So that's a black 2x1. We don't have that many black pieces left, actually. I'm looking at it. Some more orange. I do love the fact that they included and added variety with the orange pieces. I think it makes it look so much better than all the other ones. The UCS one, you know, like I was saying, does have some of that, but like it's very, oops, it's very basic because it's a, you know, it's all plate that's all sideways really. The framing's on the inside, of course, and I don't know, I think it just makes it look ugly that way. Whereas this, I think, is cooler. And I get the outside of a sandcrawler is kind of more textured than this. Things stick out, there's like equipment and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think the coloring makes it look like it has texture, and I think it makes it look better. 4x1. See, the 3x1s, no holes. 4x1s, holes. All right, here we go. Little grippy. Yep, 4 pieces. And that goes on the back. Now we do probably the opposite. Yep, we're gonna do the exact same thing opposite. Don't need, yeah. Need this guy at the end. That 4x1 corner piece. Lots of corner pieces being used with this. It's a smaller section. And then that. I think once I think what we'll do is there'll be, I think there's 2 more panel things that go on before you start doing the rest, like the middle section and things and more of the detail stuff. So I think in this first bag, I'm going to put all 4 panel sections, and then that'll be it for that bag. I think we'll start the other, even though it's a bigger bag, it'll fit inside, and that'll be that. So I think that makes sense. I think it'll work that way. At least I hope it'll work that way. Those pieces, I know those are for the sides that come in. The cool part is, so the design of the sandcrawler is kind of interesting because it's very blocky, kind of goes up like this a little bit, but then the front is very angled in and also slants inward. It's kind of very unique. Very unique design. I mean, a lot of the Star Wars ships are unique in design. Okay. That, the headlight, corner piece, 2 3x1. You guys come over here. What's everyone up to today? I have to help a friend move. That's my fun for the rest of the day, is helping a friend and double checking to see if he texted or anything. Does not look like it, but oop, not yet. Where am I at? All right, I did that one. Okay. So yeah, I get to help someone move bunches and bunches of stuff. Something else that's coming along. So I signed up to help a creative Lego building producer person with sorting and verifying that, very similar to like this, that the sets he's designing for people, he designs houses for them, like their own house. You know, say, hey, you know, I would like my house out of Lego. He designs it and sources the pieces, and then you have to make sure you have all the pieces. And I've signed up with him along with a couple other people to help him do that, because his business is expanding. And so on some of my streams, I'll be doing those, like going through, and so you'll get to see some of the house designs and stuff. It's pretty neat stuff. But I'm actually going to be designing my own house. Not my house, but my own build for a house that is really, really, really unique in the Pittsburgh area. And I cannot wait to play around with it and see what I can come up with for it. More details coming. It's going to go into the town that I'm doing for my display stuff. So you'll see it happening shortly. So, but I'm excited about that one because it is designed to be building blocks, but it's not necessarily Lego. You're going to be a senior designer. All right. That's awesome. So you get to help design. So you're going to help design the things. Oh, that's awesome, man. So you're going to help design the things. I'm going to help, sort / build them to make sure, I got to put them together to make sure that they, all the pieces are there. And then, disassemble, or it's going to come to me assembled and I disassemble, whatever. Still, we're not 100% sure exactly how that's all going to work, but that's cool. It's going to be fun. The name is changing. I forget what it's changed to. It's like it's something blueprints or brick blueprint, something along those lines. So yeah, that'll be kind of a fun extra thing to do. I mean, it's part of what I do anyway, of doing sorting like this and figuring things out. So I mean, kind of a natural thing to fall into and make a little extra money. We're also doing a thing coming up, I guess he designed a logo or a letter or something like that. He has to have 100 or 100 of these things or something like that, or 600. I can't remember how many. So I'm going to be sorting those as well. So that might be something that I do a little bit on stream. I'm not going to, that would be a boring stream to just do that, but 2 of those, everything else is 1 of them. Huh. That's really cool, though. Can't wait to work with you, buddy. We're starting to. I'm starting to see the table now more. We're definitely getting through these pieces. Just by doing these panels, you can tell. 1x4. I see a lot of 1x3s. I'm looking for a 1x4. Nope, that's a. There it is. right in front of me. Duh. It usually is. It usually is right in front. Ooh, here we go. Another bit. See, this is a big panel that has these. All 4 of these. So I'm glad I set those aside. That is a long... Ooh, I don't think I have that piece. So there's a long... Oh, no, it's 2 together. Okay. I was going to say, I don't see those, but this is a long piece. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 2 of them are together. Okay, all right. I was worried. I was like, I don't think I have a piece like that. 2 and 3, 2 by 2. 1, 2, 3. That'll be cool that you're a senior designer. We're gonna start doing some of these little pieces now. So, 2 headlights. 2 incline. 1 more incline, but it's black up there. And then 2 of these little... These are cool pieces. These have been around for quite a long time. These little, like, faucet things. These were used in town faucets for a long time. All right, 2 of the brown weird. See, this is another piece that I'm not sure what it's called. I'm not sure what these are specifically called. These are like with the curves on, you know, the roundedness. I'm not sure what kind of. I mean, they're a 2 by 1, but it's like they've got the rounded edges, so to speak. With those, 2. I bet you they're in here. Maybe not. Nope, they're in here. That's interesting. The separation. So the sorting is interesting. I would have put these in the small bag that's over here, but they're just in amongst here. I tend to like to separate my 1x1s, and they're all actually. I actually have it down here. I have a lot of 1x1s, but the way I look at it is, I look at 1x1s as things that only have a 1 thing on top, or can go onto 1 thing. So like my. So in this thing, I have like a 1x1. I also have, it's a 1x1. You know, it's a round. But I also have something like this because it, you know, it's, to me that's a 1x1, and I don't have enough thing. That's also a 1x1, big long one. This is a 1x1 because it only goes onto 1 thing. You know what I mean? That's just the way my mind works, and it works for me. So like this, that's a 1x1. Kind of some of my thought process as far as that goes. I like to separate the 1x1s. You get so many of them, so that's kind of how I separate it in my head, and it works for me. So it gives you so many headlights. Those black or dark gray? Those are black. Okay. And trying to figure out colors sometimes is a little bit goofy. And 1 panel piece. 1 small panel piece. Ooh, here's where we get some greebling essentially, but it's big greebling. 2, 3, but it adds texture. I think this is the back wall, like on the back side of the sand crawler. But that's texture to have like things sticking out and stuff like that. These, nice, I separated them. Like I was thinking ahead for once. And then, okay. So 2 of those goofy pieces. 4 more of these. 1, 2. Like I said, the design of this one I think is just really, really cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 3. 4. And then 1 more of those circular pieces. Hey, it's my theme song. Yay! Alright, I'm going to set that one aside because it's a special piece. There it is. See, it would be cool to help with the designing of the buildings themselves. That's just not me though. I mean, like, I'm just not, you know, I don't know nearly enough about Bricklink and how it works. I'm very, very novice, so. And it takes time, and I don't have the time for that. One more black 2x1. Not many left, I'm sure. This. Yep, I mean, like, you know, that's just how it is. I don't use Bricklink all that much, or I mean, I don't use Studio all that much. I do want to use it more. I'm just not there. So it doesn't make sense for me to sign up for something like that. I would be learning as I go, and while I can do that, I think that would hamper the process. So that's not for, and just I'm better at designing things by building. You know, that's just how I've been ever since I was younger, and that's what you had when I was growing up. You know, you didn't have anything to you know, do it in. All right, this is the back as well. I love these things. Nice. That's incline. 2 1x4s. One. And 2. 2 more of these. 1. All right, these last 2 little dudes. 2. Oh, 1 and 2. Good thing I had those set aside. Again, almost like I knew I would. Things I would need. Okay, so that is the back wall done, and I'm going to do these last 2. I think I'll be able to finish those up. These last 2 things, and that'll be good for this first bag. This is interesting though, because like it's arching. We're doing it a little bit different than the previous back panel things, and I know it's hard for me to say that and be like what do you mean? Because like I can't show you, it's not built, so I can't be like, this is the back, this is the front, you know. But just believe me. I am excited to build, you know, once I actually get this set, I am excited to build it. It's a really cool set. And the included, you know, the Jawas and droids and everything is just really awesome. Here's the funny thing too. So Logan, you said that the Gonk droid was $50 to $90, like just for the droid. Which I find insane. So $50 to $90 just for that little Gonk droid. This whole set is about average, is about $300. I've seen it a little higher, I've seen it a little bit lower. And it includes everything, obviously. So it's like, you know, why buy it? I mean, you could get the whole set and, you know. Instead of just a droid for, you know, for a little bit more. Oh! So today, yeah. All right. See you later, Logan. Thanks for tuning in, as always. Keep on building. Go buy, today is release day, so go buy some Lego, I guess. I'm not buying anything today. Nothing of interest. Definitely not the oh my word, the Pokemon look awful. I know one of them is Ditto, and so, you know, he looks kind of goofy because that's the way he always looks whenever he impersonates another Pokemon. But gosh, all of them are just blocky, and I know they did it on purpose because it's supposed to be like so they can play with them, but like, oh my word. And so they could add the smart brick into it. But gosh, these playable, they don't look like, I saw a video where they like kind of did a review on them and were playing around with them, and like they fall apart. So I mean, like just shaking them, they like kind of fall apart. So I think it was a bad design. I mean, I know they're not for display, which is why they're bulkier, but ooh, random light gray piece. It's just a 2x1 random light gray piece. It's kind of funny. And then one of those hook. Got everything there. There's not much light gray. I mean, like all these like the crane parts and all these Technic pieces are light gray, obviously, but there's very few light gray pieces in here. One by one. Look at this. We're coming through. So in about 2 hours, we are a little, I would say a little bit more than halfway through. There's a lot of little pieces that's greebling and stuff that'll be added on as we go. But as far as the larger pieces go, we've gone through in about 2 hours. Probably more like an hour and 45 minutes of actual sorting. And there will be a little bit more to go, but like I think we're over halfway. I mean, going by the instruction book, we aren't, but I think as it gets further along, like the treads and everything like that, it takes a little bit more smaller steps in order to finish off those things. 1, 2, 3. Two by 3 right there, and then another angle, 90-degree angle. So we're almost done with this panel, and then we'll have one more, and then we'll be done for the day. So that'll be that's a good start. That's a good dent into this. Another vent piece. 1 by 3. Good dent into this, into sorting this set, which I needed to do anyway, and I wanted to do it as soon as I could, because it needs to be done, and I need to get it back to the store and be like, hey, this is what you're missing. So the sooner I get it done, sooner I can get it figured out and get what else is needed. 1, 2, 3, and 2 by 1. Two by 1. There we go. That's the last of the tan 1x8s there, hiding over there. And another little vent piece. Haven't used many of those yet. We've got a ton of little pieces over here. That's going to be like, I guarantee you a lot of that's going to be like in the workshop and things like that. Which I think is cool that they have the workshop, so it's so it can come out and be like its own separate playset thing. I think that's really, really, that's a good design. I think to modularly. The instructions are not the best. They're a little bit goofy. I think making a set modular, especially something that's a little bit bigger like this, where you can take out parts of it and be like, hey, I can play with this, but then the rest of it, you know, it's like, hey, display the thing. But then you don't have to try to move the whole thing. Like, you can take out part of it and there you go. Smart way to do things. Okay. More panels. So I'm going to need 2 of these totes. I'm going to get both out. One's in a later step that I see. Panel. This we'll need later. If the previous side is any indication. Quarter arch. There it is. Let's see if I have it over here. Yep, there we go. 1 by 1. Yeah, so we're definitely over halfway in about 2 hours. And again, this is a 1,599 piece set. 1,600 pieces, essentially. Dark gray. Need you later. Dark gray 1 by 2. Dark gray 1 by 2. It's probably the last one. Oh, there it is. Yep. One along the top, dark gray. Make sure I didn't move up. Nope. Okay. And then 2 by 2. 1 by 1. Brown. Not a headlight, an actual 1 by 1. There we go. Headlight, gray 1 by 1, 3 by 2, 1 by 3, and inverted. As our other panel goes in, this. We're almost there, almost done. It'll be just a little bit after 11, which is fine. Right? That's fine. Right? Everything's fine now. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you? Three by 2. 3-to-loo, 3-to-loo. So yeah, this is kind of how sorting goes, but again, there are techniques. This is a little bit different, being that it's a bigger set, but it's not a set that has separate bags like a lot of the bigger sets now do. There we go. All right, there's our first bag. I think that's it. Yep. All right, so we are done as far as that goes. So up to step 20 is bag 1. And in fact, what I can do is include like the figures, the minifigs, into this bag because it's bigger, but keep them separated. And I'll have to take those apart a little bit, and then do that. Maybe I'll put them in a little bit bigger bag. Actually, yeah, that makes sense. Let's do that. Put them in a slightly bigger bag. Ooh. Transfer these guys into here, including their capes. No capes. So Jawa capes go in there. R2 with his little head thing goes in there. That little droid goes in there. And then the stickers go in here as well. I'm really, really happy that the stickers were not put on. So this, and I think this organizes things a little bit better, doing it this way. This is essentially bag one, even though there is no bag one. The minifigures are in there. And the essentially first half of the Sandcrawler is in this bag. And so we have the rest to go. More panels and things. Move this out of the way a little bit. There we go. Great value. So yeah, we have, it's less than half. A lot of the pieces are smaller and things like that. So yeah, I think it'll work out. So there we go. Over halfway done. Took about 2 hours kind of to get things started and going. And we have a lot of framing pieces to go. You know, some more plates and things to put on. Yeah, but we are well on our way. So, thanks for tuning in as always. Hope you have a great Saturday. Have a great weekend. And until next time, Tuesday will be hopefully finishing Minas Tirith. So, yeah. Until next time, as always, may the brick be with you and keep on building. We'll see ya.